Hello, superstars. It's me, Aaron, or the artist formerly known as Question Mark, the symbol, not the word. And you're listening to the Superpod Saga. That's right, the Superpod Saga. It's the show where we talk about a different video game topic each week, and when we're done discussing that topic, we do some weird, goofy thing. I don't recall. At the time of recording, like the rest of this episode, my internet dumped out a whole bunch of times, and we lost a good portion of the episode. So we missed the intro, the guest intro, and we got about maybe halfway through the the Discord Q&A. So I guess I guess we'll just skip the Discord Q&A, unfortunately, and then we'll skip right on to the rest of the episode. And I apologize for that. The Zencaster doesn't have the rest of the audio. Whatever. This won't happen again. I apologize again, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. Oh, and the guest is, holy shit, there's like four dudes from Press B to Cancel. There's Jake, there's Sinistar, Wulff, and Chard Monk or Chard. Yeah, that's the guest. It's them. Of course, since we skipped the guest intro, I'll leave a link to their podcast and all their stuff in the show notes. But let's skip to the rest of the episode. I guess I don't know where the fuck we left off. I'll just start reading the next one. And then,
Yes.
yeah,
Aaron has reclaimed the podcast from us.
Yes.
Press
He's
B-
bringing us back.
Press B seceded. We
Cats
are seated.
marginally hurted.
I've
We,
defeated all of Press B to Cancel in a game of King of the Hill.
It was epic, and I'm sorry you all missed it.
God dang it.
And my palms have blisters.
Mine don't, because
From
mine
all
are
the
calloused.
pillows.
Wow.
It's pro gamer right there. That's how you do it.
Speaking of calluses, Nomad the Retro Wildlands, he says, playing the original Resident Evil with my stepdad, he originally wouldn't let me see the game because he heard it was super bloody and violent, but eventually we played together, and I had to help him beat it. Core memory unlocked.
That's a good memory.
That is a good memory. Troidal Power says, I spent so many hours playing Smash Bros. In my friend Ben's garage. Some of my favorite gaming memories. Why was he living in a garage, bro? Is he
They
all right?
were relegated.
Listen, I lived in a garage during my college days, and this is a true story.
Okay.
I lived in my sister's garage while I was going to college for a short time because I had to move. And my brother-in-law's father, which I guess would make him my father-in-law in some weird, twisted way.
Not really, but sure.
He's a twisted guy. He took the only spare room in the house. So guess whose ass got into the garage? This guy.
Great man,
How does
bless
that
his
work
heart.
when you
rip,
order pizza?
rip stepdad or whatever.
It's all right. My
You open
sister
the whole
actually got
door?
called on numerous occasions that someone might be breaking into the garage, and it was just my ass coming home from my 1:30 job in the morning. So it's been great.
And it was still breaking into the garage.
You were kicking the fucking door open like an animal.
I was. It's all, this is my house, bitch, and kicked the door open. But it was a detached garage, so nobody cared or was in there. That was kind of cool.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be one of those like garages that has like one of those fancy garages with a room over it. I've always wanted one of those, but it'd also be really fucking cold and drafty.
I've technically lived in one of those. My first apartment with my wife was an apartment over a garage.
Wasn't this is a stupid fucking reference, but like wasn't that also where the Patrick Swayze lived in Roadhouse? Didn't he live in like
He
a
lived in a
garage?
barn. He lived like in
I
a
thought you
barn.
were-
Oh, a barn.
Yeah, he
okay.
lived
I
in a
thought you were
barn
gonna-
loft.
I thought
like
you
a
were going
garage.
to say the Fonz, because yes, he did.
Yes. Well, you got your Roadhouse and your Fonzie mixed up, but they're in there.
Fuck.
Roadhouse.
Fair.
You got your roundhouses with your A.
Hey.
Hey, Roadhouse.
14
Roadhouse.
simultaneous A's. I'm gonna edit that in like 14
Press
seconds.
B to A.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Press A.
There's just not enough Canadians on this podcast to drop the A's this much.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're a bunch
But-
of a-holes.
You should be sorry for not dropping more A's.
Sorry.
We're
Red
gonna get
A,
a
I'm
fucking
sorry.
cease and desist for all the A's. Oh man. Oh my god, this is a big one. Jeff makes noise. Holy shit! He says I could fill a book with PS1 memories, renting Azure Dreams and keeping the system on the whole
Press
time.
B to
because my
cancel.
memory
holy shit!
card
I
was
Takes
can't-
over again.
God.
played the demos for
man.
Parappa the Rapper and Intelligent Cube more than some games I actually owned. Learning how to disc swap to play imported Dance Dance Revolution titles. The PS1 was
Oh,
where I
that's
learned to
awesome.
love collecting and what brought me back to it after selling my collection in college. I'd listen to the discs with Red Book audio on long car rides. I
Wow.
still idly input the first PS1 cheat code I learned while I wait for games to load. The code is for Battle Arena Toshinden 2. I love playing the Saturn and N64 at friends' houses, but the PS1 is probably the most important console of all time to me. That's a long
Wow.
one. Those are
Yeah.
great memories, though.
Intelligent Cube, that demo. I also spent
Yes.
so much time in that stupid Intelligent Cube demo. And
But it's
Parappa the
awesome
Rapper. I've
demo.
never played the actual release of Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, I love
But
Parappa.
Kick
Demo.
Punch, It's All in the Mind is so ingrained in my head because of that demo.
Yeah.
PS1 demo discs were amazing to me. Like as a guy who had the N64 as a kid, I was envious that my friends could pick up a magazine and have games on the magazine disc. Like I was always jealous.
I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Don't tell my mom on me, but I stole so many of those fucking demo discs from Walmart. I would just take the
also
little like
took
yeah, it was so easy back in the day. Like you could
I'm
just
calling
you just
Aaron's mom.
Yeah, I was
No.
going to say, I've already got her on the
No.
phone.
Calling her
I've already got her on the phone.
Aaron, what did you do?
yeah, like,
Sounds like your grandma.
she's like Bette Midler or something.
Aaron, our super pod. Your father's going to be so mad when he gets
He's
home.
so
Our
disappointed
middle
in
name
you.
is like Richard or something.
Aaron Barnabas Clausen, you put those demo discs back now.
Oh,
Barnabas.
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 Oh, like the that's a little
I
segue
actually-
back to Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Barnabas
Little bit of,
barn.
uh,
He lived in a
Yeah.
barn.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
There it
Deep,
is.
deep
I-
reference.
I came so close to not stealing a demo disc, but stealing Christmas Nights into Dreams because it was packed in with the Next Generation magazine.
Why didn't
And
you?
I was totally prepared to, but I was like, I'm gonna be a good kid first and ask my dad, hey, can I get this? It comes with a free game.
Did you knelt on the spot and you prayed to God or whatever? You're like, dear God, should I fucking shoplift this
It's
Nights
like-
into Christmas
It's
or
like
whatever?
that episode
God
of The
was like,
Simpsons
No.
where fucking Bart steals the action game, and then at the very end of the
God,
whole
yeah.
thing, she's like, "I got you the game all the kids wanted," and he's like, "It was like Bone Diver or some shit." I forget where the real name of the game was, and it was
Bone
fucking like
Storm.
Bone Storm, and it was the fucking golfing game. It was like Arnold
Right,
Palmer golfing.
Bone
was-
Storm.
No,
It was Lee
you know-
Trevino's fighting golf. Thank you very much, Mr. Chard.
You know,
You
That was a
selected?
hidden gem.
No,
No, I'm pretty sure Jesus told Wulff to pull out all of his negotiation skills.
No, actually, my dad was pretty cool. So that day he was like, yeah, it's fine.
that's
But
fine.
I was totally
thus-
prepared to be like,
Please
if
don't
he
get
says no,
incarcerated,
this is
son."
going in my shirt.
You know what, son?
Crime averted.
I'm proud of you for committing that crime, son. You're all right about book. You want a beer?
Crime averted. I love it, Jake.
Crime averted.
Crime averted.
It's like
No,
it's
And
like
say that in Grand Theft Auto.
it's
I'm
it's,
gonna steal this
it's-
car. Nah, I'm gonna walk away. Crime
It's a-
averted.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
share
fucking
a story
Steam
here
achievement. It's a fucking
I'm
Steam
gonna share a
achievement.
story.
It's the
here.
Steam achievement. Yeah.
Holy
that I have not
shit.
shared
Okay.
on our podcast.
Are we calling your mom next?
Are we?
No, no,
are
no.
we deep
Okay,
cutting
so-
into Wolf's life.
when I refer to my dad, I'm talking about my stepdad. He's the guy who raised me. So
Right.
he was my dad for all intents and purposes. My little brother, who is in fact his kid, walked out of a video store. I was probably 14. My little brother was 4. Walked out of, this is the same guy who gave me the go ahead to get this magazine, by the way. We walked out of the video store, and my little brother was apparently bugging my parents both, like, can I rent this? Can I rent this? Can I rent this? And they didn't notice. and we walked straight out. Or can I get this? It might have been. We walked straight out of the video store. The alarm thing didn't go off. I guess he was too short and went under it.
Oh, nice.
We get outside, and my brother's still going, "Can I get this? Can I get this?" And finally, my dad catches it and reacts, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he puts his arms up, all cartoony, like swipes the VHS out of my brother's hand and sticks it in his shirt, and we walked away.
Ah!
Wow. So
My
yes.
mom was like, "You."
Yes, you can get it.
He was an accomplice. Your dad was the driver.
Wow.
This is the guy who was like, "Yeah, get the magazine."
They both lived wonderful lives in prison. Okay, we've got 3 more. Judge Bread.
Judge Bread.
Judge Bread.
Yeah,
Judge
Bread.
Bread. Yes.
It's Tommy.
Like
The
Carl
first
By-
Tommy, yeah.
Like, is this the one where Carl Slurban was Judge Bread?
Slurbin. Was this real fucking last name?
This real
Slurbin.
No, it's not.
He's
Urban.
referencing the new
Judge Bread.
movie.
It's a great
Okay.
movie.
The new Judge Bread, yeah. The
New Judge
sequel.
Bread.
Rob Schneider's still a member of that cast, though, right?
Oh, fuck off.
Get out.
Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider
He
is
doesn't know how to
RoboCop.
use the seashells.
Come on, Hershey. Get fucked.
Rob Schneider is a stapler. Do-do-do-do.
Rated PG-13. So Judge Bread says the first time I played Smash on N64, my quote friends didn't teach me how to play the game or how the mechanics worked. So I picked Pikachu, stood in place, and just did the down B thunder attack on
Nice.
repeat, hoping that someone would get hit by it. They also told me that if I wanted to be in their friend group, I had to lick the staircase in their
What?
garage. They said each of
Whoa.
them did it. Looking back, I think it was a lie. Wow. All right.
There was not a single tongue mark on that staircase upon further inspection.
That staircase was caked in dog shit.
Shit was clean. I was the best. I was the best friend.
That was where I took the dog when I was too lazy to go out into the yard.
Yeah, let gravity do all the work.
Isn't it so much better in 2024 when we don't have to worry about kids forcing you to lick things? Instead, you just huff the vents from your Steam Decks. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
Tastes like
lord.
plastic.
Anubis Hero, he says Smash 64, Resident Evil, Jet Force Gemini, Crash Bandicoot, all 3, and Spyro, dog. Hell yeah.
Hell
Indeed,
yeah,
dog.
Spyro. Dog. Spyro's a
Spyro.
dragon, but dogs are cool too.
Yeah, dog. Last one, Chan Chan, he says, so then, wait, no, that's not a thing. He said, okay, he's just joking. That's it. That's all of them.
Glorious.
So let's start talking about those 5th gen consoles. So we're gonna do like the big 5 first, and we'll talk about them in order of release. And if we have time, we'll talk about the goddamn Virtual Boy or whatever the fuck else
Hey,
there was.
this
The Sega
scoliosis,
Don't
This man-
disparage the Virtual Boy.
So
Look,
the
Classic.
I wore
I went
wore-
colorblind because of the Virtual Boy. Thank you.
I wore the Virtual Boy to school because it was a sign of prosperity.
Harness look like?
I'm black red colorblind. Thank you very much.
I am now legally handicapped thanks to the Virtual Boy. Thanks, Nintendo.
Sure, my retinas are completely burned out now, but worth it.
Worth it for that Wario tennis or whatever the fuck.
Goddamn right.
Oh man. So the first one that came out was the 3DO interactive multiplayer in the US or North America, whatever. October 4th, 93. I have never ever touched a 3DO. I'm going to be honest. Growing up in rural Iowa, I had no idea any of these existed except for the N64 and PS1. Like, fucking nobody I knew had a Saturn, let alone a fucking Jaguar or the 3DO.
I wanted a 3DO only because I was a big Star Trek nerd as a kid, and there was a next generation Star Trek game on the 3DO, or it was announced that it was in progress with the 3DO. I don't even know if it came out. Something tells me it didn't. But those screenshots, I wanted one. I really wanted one, and I kept thinking, it can't be bad, right? I mean, it's like $500 when it was announced. It can't be bad when it's so expensive. It has to be a great gaming system. I'm very glad I could not afford one.
The
'Cause that system was something
Panasonic
else.
FZ1 Real 3DO Interactive Multiplayer, the first 3DO system, was initially priced for $699.99 in the
I
United States.
remember that.
$1,400.
F in the chat.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
it on sale at Electronics Boutique for $400.
79,800 yen.
Oof.
This is wow. This is insane.
I
Well, with a
actually
price like
got
that,
to
how could it be
try
bad?
a 3DO once.
It appears that the price was
Um,
reduced by the fall of '94 to $399. Good call. Good call, Panasonic.
Yeah, GG.
I got to play one time in person, and it was Cliffhanger. They had it on display at that same Electronics Boutique I was just referring to.
Speaking of Stallone,
And it was such a bad game. I don't understand how they thought they were going to move systems with that game as the display game, but I tried it for like 5 minutes. As someone who had been gaming for the better part of 8 years at that point, I was like, I don't understand how to do anything in this game, and I keep losing immediately, so I'm out.
Do you guys want to know what the best selling game is for this system? Don't look it up.
I already said it.
It's gotta be Road Rage or Road Rash.
No,
Road
no, no.
Rash, yes.
I already said it earlier.
What'd you say?
I said Gex.
God damn it! Yeah, with 1 million copies. Fine, you
Oh.
got it.
wow.
I
what you get
when
did
you do
play
research.
Gex once. Gex was
Sinistar.
okay.
It looks to me that Star Control 2 might have been on this game as well, been on the system as
Yeah,
well.
actually,
okay.
the modern version that they re-released for free for everybody is based on the 3DO version. It's fantastic.
That's pretty awesome.
You know what's funny is that most people think that I'm just got all this knowledge about the 3DO, but I'm really just in my mind palace right now. So
Yeah.
everybody just chill out.
That's how it works.
He's just over there in his mind palace microwaving fish or whatever.
You know, it pisses off the neighbors.
Oh man, my mind I was in my mind garage. My mind palace is like
Your
My
mind
mind-
garage is where
I'm actually in the mind garage. Yeah.
your mind garage is where you're like, I know this, but I can't quite think of it because it's buried under 17 boxes.
Yeah, because the neighbors keep seeing me break into my mind garage.
Oh my god, my mind closet or something fucking stupid.
My mind dumpster.
My mind dennies. We're going to the mind dennies.
That's right.
Only works on Tuesdays. That's
Oh
when you
my
get the real
God,
deals
dude.
of the gem of memories.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I have no memories at all with the 3DO other than like maybe what I've seen on YouTube on like AVGN or like that's it.
I have
I guess
one of
with
a
these-
good emulator for this thing at this point? There must be, right?
I
I'm
think
sure-
there is. Yeah.
There's got to be.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's almost certainly.
I
Yeah,
had
this
one
one
of
for,
those
like,
friends
Lunchbox.
that his mom, like, the way this is gonna sound so bad. The way that she showed love was she bought him things, and she wasn't like
Ooh.
wealthy, but like because they lived in this house that you go in there and you're like, yeah, okay, I may die, but you know that when you'd go in, there was going to be whatever modern console there was, and he had a 3DO, he had a Jaguar, he had a Saturn. I mean, so I touched all of these, and that's why I know that Road Rage was amazing on it.
I caressed all of these.
The rest
Well,
every single one.
Look, I tried to
Crest.
keep it PG.
Cuddled. I cradled every single one.
Stroking that
cupped-
third leg of that controller.
I cupped
That's what
every
you do.
single one.
I will say that when I see games like Samurai Showdown and stuff, and you're watching the games like from the arcade modern, and you see them like coming home to your own graphics. We had Street Fighter for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and I'll
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
what, they were awful on both of those systems in comparison to obviously
In
the arcade.
comparison, yeah.
Right, in comparison.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see like maybe that stuff come home, and this was the generation where you could start feeling like you're playing those games, and the 3DO had some good ones on there. I mean, it had Super Street Fighter Turbo on there,
Yeah.
Samurai Showdown. I mean, they
Yeah.
were coming to the house finally. Like I didn't have
Well,
to
and
go
you-
pop quarters for
But the
hours.
3DO was a 3-button controller, wasn't it not?
Yeah,
How the hell do you
Yeah.
play Street Fighter on a 3-button controller? I mean,
They
come
did
on.
it. Well, the Sega had a 6-button, right? So,
Yeah,
But,
the
I
alternative
mean-
was hitting the mode button, and it was awful.
Yeah, it
you
was
nailed
it
it
was
though
the mode button.
with Samurai Chowdown. I love
Shadow?
that game. Yeah.
delicious. It's my favorite
love that
one.
game.
It's like a Benihana.
Yep.
Well,
Default.
the 3DO controller was kind of weird because it had A, B, C, L, R, and then analogs for select and start. I think they called them X and P or something. But
Oh, I didn't know it had shoulder
Yeah, it
buttons.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
Yeah.
X and P.
that's how
Yeah.
they're marked on the Panasonic original controller. Is start would be play pause or P, and select would be X or the stop symbol.
They just got like
This is what happens when you have
street
Panasonic
signs on
on
the
your
buttons or
console.
something.
Listen.
It
Yield
does
sign
well,
and
like
shit.
Quick, up,
The
down,
controller-
yield. Up, down, yield.
around the D-pad. It's also like up is kind of fast forward, right is skip to the next chapter.
kind of fast forward.
Down is kind of fast rewind, and
Quick
left
forward.
is skip back to the next. To
It
the
was-
previous.
Okay.
A
Yo.
brief
was the
jog
wild-
forward.
It was the Wild West of 1993
They-
where controllers
did a-
didn't make
You know
sense.
what it is, though? Did the
it
3DO
really
let you play
didn't.
discs? Like, could you play
That's fair.
movies on it? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
Then
I think
that's
it
why.
was,
That's a very Panasonic thing to do, and that's why it was like $800,000. Right?
Maybe
and
in
it also
Canadian.
had, for some weird reason, a headphone jack in the controller and like a volume knob right next to that
Yeah.
jack.
Yeah.
Holy
Hell yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
That's
They went
no, that's
hard
pretty
on that
cool.
thing.
Now,
Fucking clean.
A lot of tech.
if we want to talk trash controller, let's
Yeah.
talk Jaguar.
But wait,
Yeah,
hold on,
good,
hold on.
good fucking segue.
Hold on. I want to point out that
What?
the real 3DO interactive multiplayer FZ1 has one controller port on it.
Oh, wow.
and it's multiplayer. What?
Fuck your
I'm
multiplayer.
sure it required it. Probably, maybe it had them
Probably
off
had
to the side because
probably
there's
had
some
a
sort of
multi-tap.
expansion pack
Probably had a
Yeah.
multi-tap.
or
A
a
dongle.
multi-tap. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You know,
find
the
that funny.
Jaguar controller is probably one of the most innovative pieces of technology that was out in 1995.
And caused
It's
the
an
most
awesome controller.
caused the most like spasms in your hands trying to like
No.
do fighting games with ABC.
Bro,
Dude, I
it
have
had-
one behind me.
No,
It
it was
had-
CBA. Get it right.
Yeah, it had 6
I'm sorry,
controller
that's right.
hands.
And it
Come
had
on.
apparently a phone number sequence down here. You
Yeah.
could dial on your phone. It even had a star and a pound, bud. So
games.
Like I
Okay, dude,
said, new
I gotta
controller.
talk about
Who
this one.
dis?
back it up.
I bought the Jaguar controller. I have a controller collection behind me. You can't see it, but I'm pointing at my shelf right
Oh,
now for
bingo.
the audio listeners. Right? But the Jaguar controller, I bought it specifically because I got the Mister, which is an emulation device,
Mhm.
hardware emulation device. I'm sorry. And I wanted to play Coleco games on it. And Coleco has a lot of fantastic titles, but it needs a number pad for buttons. And the Jaguar is perfect for that. But when I got it, I was surprised at how well it fits in your hand. It's a hefty controller. In some ways, reminds me of the Genesis controller, which I love. It's meaty, it's thick, it's got more than enough buttons. The D-pad is okay. It's not a SNES controller, but it's definitely not a bad controller. It's a really good one.
Because whenever I fire up any of my gaming consoles, I think to myself, you know what I wish I was holding? A phone book.
Well, look, it was the 90s, and
'Cause
this is
that's
before
what
Google.
it fucking looks like. It looks like a goddamn
Maybe,
phone
maybe
book.
when you're in a
That's-
garage and you want to dial and order pizza, and what are you going to eat? You got a dial pad right in front of you.
This
What's
Yeah,
whole
wrong
how
with
many
you?
controllers can you
That's
text
true.
people in T9 with?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
This whole
T9.
episode is gonna be about like residing in a fucking garage or something.
Yeah,
like a
Chard's
barn
garage.
or
Got the
something.
garage palace. I'm hanging out in the mine garage.
Also, why the hell did they reverse everything?
Yeah.
You
that was
got
weird.
instead of ABC, it's CBA,
They were
XYZ,
And
it's
ZYX,
XY,
Well, well, well.
ZYX.
they
And
were
then-
does that
they
crap.
were mimicking Nintendo. Come on.
Yeah.
They also put start and select or pause an option on the wrong sides.
They did.
So pause is on the left. Who does that?
Maybe they were preparing for you to do the alphabet backwards if you ever got pulled over for drinking and driving.
the
Thank
cops
you,
like
Atari Jaguar.
the cops like
Thank
tell
you.
me
You're
tell
a
me
Jaguar owner, aren't you?
the cops like
He writes you a ticket for owning a Jaguar.
the cops like say the alphabet backwards. You're like ZYX CBA.
Damn, this guy's good.
Got me again.
Where were you tonight? I I stopped for a drink after playing Cybermorph at Montgomery Ward for a few hours.
Montgomery Ward.
The fucking
On my way
ward.
home to my garage.
The Montgomery Palace.
Oh my fucking god, dude! The holy shit, the Atari Jaguar when equipped with that Jaguar CD looks real cool in like a.
Look
It
at my
looks like you
I don't know
find it
how
in
to
a
explain
Ridley
it.
Scott film. I mean, this
Look,
thing
there we
looks like
go.
it's like biomechanical, just waiting to attack.
Hey,
with
would
its,
you
with its phone book controller?
guys look at my cool hat?
Yeah, nice hat. The thing is a riot. It's like the 3D, the 32X, but for the Jaguar.
Have you
Is
guys
this a
seen
fire
that?
hazard too?
Have you guys seen that Key and Peele where they like the one's wearing the hat with the tag
Yeah.
still in it, and then
He's
the
got
next
it in
time the
the
guy comes
display
in,
case.
yeah, and then the
Yeah.
next time it's like the lady that's actually making the hats is on his
Yeah.
head. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what the Jaguar was.
So if I come walking out with my Sega CD, I expect someone to follow up with their Jaguar
That's
CD.
right.
I did not realize that the Jaguar CD basically worked like the 32X.
Yep.
They're like, here,
Yeah.
just put a CD drive in the cartridge slot. That'll do it.
Just pop that
What's
bitch
with
in there.
American companies doing add-ons for some reason. I don't get it.
Well, I
The
want to
DLC
know.
wasn't
Work for
available
Atari.
then.
I want to know if you have to put in the heat shields.
Oh my
I'm
god, that episode fucking ruined me. I had no idea there were like heat shields and like fucking plates and fucking all sorts of shit.
You have to have a
install.
minor in electric engineering to run your 32X.
and like an electrician's toolkit.
Jesus Christ! I literally just thought you just pop it in and you're good to go. I had no
And
idea.
you
it was-
actually could, but
You could if you didn't want to burn
It
your house
wasn't
down.
recommended.
Tempted fate
Yeah.
here.
If you
Oh,
wanted to
fuck.
melt something inside your Genesis, you were fine.
I like how I'm looking at some of the specs for the Atari Jaguar, and for the CPU, it's got one called Tom, which is a 32-bit whatever, and then the other one is called Jerry, which is another 32-bit whatever. So that's cool.
Mm.
It's got the
Well,
Tom chip and the Jerry
64
chip.
and then
bit
on
is-
top of that, they combined both together and called it a 64-bit computer.
I just assumed that those chips were fighting each other the entire time you were running the operating system.
They fight. No.
It's the itchy chip and
Itchy
the
and
scratchy
scratchy.
chip.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
That's
you.
what the 32X had. That's why I kept catching on fire.
That reminds me of like the TurboGrafx 16, how they were like, it's 16 bits, but it was like two 8-bit
Yep.
processors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep, that's what the Jaguar was.
That's
64
64
bits.
At least the TurboGrafx.
What do you
had
mean,
good
you-
games.
What do you mean you want your money back? It's their 64.
They're both in there if you do the math right.
Are you discounting Tom or are you discounting Jerry?
Because they're both working their asses off for this thing. You know what else this game has? Bubsy and Fractured Furry Tails. That's a winner right there.
So I was
Holy
asking, like, what
Lord.
games are good on the
What?
Jaguar? Because all I've ever heard of
AVP.
is Alien vs Predator.
Alien
yeah,
vs.
AVP, but
Predator.
Besides AVP,
That's all you wanted a Jaguar for was that goddamn game. You literally spent thousands of dollars for freaking Aliens versus Predator. That's all you needed it for.
oh, that Alien versus
You
Alien
could
versus
play as
Predator.
all- you can play as all three. I mean, that shit's hot.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah,
hotness.
that's great.
back
That
in the
game
day.
only sold 50,000 copies. Holy shit.
Well, they only made 50,000 copies. That's the problem right there.
That's right. They sold out.
Yeah.
Wow, even the the makers of Bubsy were like, we're just gonna pretend that one didn't exist when we make one for PSX.
Was it not canon? It's not part of the
Well,
Bubsy
'cause
lore.
it's-
The
Fractured
Bubsy
Furry
lore.
Tales is technically the third entry in the franchise, but then they called Bubsy 3D. The implication is it's Bubsy 3, right?
Hmm. We're just gonna leave this one out.
Yeah, who needs it?
Yeah, I can't think of
Flashbacks on here.
any
Flashback's legit, but there's better systems to play it on.
Attack of
Yeah.
the Killer Penguins isn't too bad. That's like the only one I would even debate on adding to my emulation library. I mean, game library, not
Yeah.
emulating.
Apparently, White Men Can't Jump is a game on the Atari Jaguar.
I
What the
remember that. Oh my
fuck?
god.
Even if I press B, I can't jump. What is this game? Is this a simulation? Is it...
It's just
Only
a
for-
walking. It's just a
Only for
walking
Woody
simulator.
Harrelson.
It's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
walking simulator.
It's
Walking
just
simulator.
Mario
Okay.
falling into pits.
You know, that's what I want to remake. Norman Reedus in a White Man Can't Jump sequel. That's what I want to see.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll
Well, shit.
just call it
Oh.
Mario A2.
Any any other, I guess, last call for the Atari Jaguar? Any other cool
No,
bits and
I-
bobs?
I'm
I
cutting
literally
it off.
tried it once at a
Yeah.
Montgomery Ward. I
Oh,
played
I-
Cybermorph. It was not good. I never touched Jaguar again.
Other than the cool boot up sequence with like the terrible looking 3D cube where it's like wow wow
Yeah.
wow. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Cybermorph
Hey,
is the hotness. What are you talking about?
64 bits.
They're 64. What do you mean get off the stage? All right. Next one. The Sega Saturn.
All
I'm-
right.
I'm
This
stepping
is
back.
my jam.
I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
s-
what.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
stepping
gonna
back.
Wulff, you take the driver's seat. I'm gonna
All right.
let Wulff regale you upon the Sega
First, I would
Saturn.
I would like to start with the fact that if we're doing the math the way Atari does the math, Saturn is 96-bit.
Way ahead of its time.
All right, look, if you'll just get off me, I'll pull over and you can drive this thing. Okay.
But yes, the Saturn. I got my Saturn. PlayStation, I think, had just come out. Yeah, it had just come out. I got my Saturn at the Good Guys. If you guys remember that
I know the
electronics
What the
chain.
fuck is
Yeah,
that?
the good guys.
The Good Guys.
I'm
It,
old. That's what that means.
Okay.
It's right
They-
next to
they
Montgomery
were-
Ward.
They were
Stop with Montgomery Ward.
they
dude.
they were like a smaller version of Silo.
Mhm.
What the fuck is Silo?
Don't remember Silo
Oh
either.
my god.
Silo was Best Buy
remember
before
Silo.
Best Buy existed.
Yeah, I remember Silo.
Wasn't Best Buy before Best Buy? No, there was a place called Best. Then it became Best Buy.
Hey,
Am I
I
wrong?
want to point out,
I don't know.
I got for my birthday in, I don't know, whatever, 91, 92, something like that. I got a portable CD Walkman from Silo. I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah, I got mine there too.
Was that
Fuck, I
Walkman
guess-
Anyway.
16-bit?
I guess we just
But-
didn't have any
We're
of this
talking
shit in Iowa. All we
Did
had
you
was
have Circuit
fucking
City at least?
somewhere. We had Circuit City and Radio Shack like somewhere in the distance.
Well,
like the most
Radio
we-
Shack doesn't
Circ-
count.
Circuit City?
Radio Shack needs your
Circuit
blood
who?
type to buy batteries. They don't count.
I think the most we had was like we had like a GameStop like peppered around the place, but the most we had was like Walmart. It's rough. Iowa is
This
rough, dude.
Silo was before Walmart became a nationwide thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Silo was purchased 19 stores in Los Angeles area for the Federated Group in 1989. Prior to opening the first store, the company launched a highly visible but deliberately ambiguous teaser ad campaign. The silos are coming, arousing much curiosity and fear of the upcoming
I
date.
remember
Oh,
those. Oh
shit.
my goodness.
So
But anyway, we were talking about the Good Guys.
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
The knockoff Silo. The good guys.
I went
I
in.
do remember
I went
Good
into the Good Guys. I want to say it was little before Christmas, and so I got the Saturn as sort of an early Christmas present because I was there with my dad to get it. Sony, according to the salesman working there, Sony was forcing Sega out of the major retailers with the PlayStation.
Wow.
So at least with some of them, at least with the Good Guys, this guy's story was that Sony told them that they weren't going to supply them with any more of their other tech if they kept carrying Sega. So they had to liquidate their Sega stock. So I got a Saturn super cheap with a couple of games. Like it was $200 for Saturn, Virtua Fighter 2, and I think 2 other games. It was really cheap. And then when you tag on and I'm going to tell you, this came in handy when you tag on the insurance on it. So if anything went bad in it, they'd repair it.
Yeah.
It was, I think, under $250 for everything.
Oh.
And so
Good lord.
that came in very handy because I used to use my Saturn and PlayStation in conjunction with one another, where I would use Y cables, and if I could turn off the music in the game, I would put CDs into one and put the game in the other and make my own music playlist going on in the background of the game because I was a nerd.
That's cool as hell. I
I just pictured you with a controller in each hand, like one with the Jaguar, or not Jaguar. Well, that would break your hand. One with the Saturn and one with the Sony, and like you're like the I'm hacking the Matrix guy, like
Fucking
playing
controllers akimbo.
You've got
No,
like Gran
I
Turismo in one hand and Virtua Fighter 2 in the other hand, and you're like, I'm going back in time.
No. I did have multiple TVs in my room and would have them set up to alternate things because I had a couple little TV VCRs my dad would pick up when he worked on cruise ships. He was a comedian. So when guys would get off the cruise ships to go home, they would need to unload their TV VCR and he'd buy it off them for like $30. So I ended up with like 3 of those at one point.
Just duct taping the PlayStation to the Saturn like a fiend. It's no wonder your 32X caught on fire. It's just wild science going on over there.
Wow.
But yeah, the Saturn, I absolutely love that thing. I played the crap out of it to the point that I burned out the disk drive. Had to take it to the local good guys when we were living in Vegas, not California at the time, because got it in California, had to get it repaired in Vegas. It was gone for a couple weeks, came back, worked flawlessly. It still runs. So I'm very happy with that. I still have my original Saturn. I picked up an extra one at a garage sale for like $20 some years later. And I swear by that thing. There's so many good games on the Saturn. It's so underrated, and it's unfortunate that Sega just kind of shot themselves in the foot with it. But yeah, I love me some Saturn. The RPGs are good. The platformers are good. Just the random assortment of games. Like there's wild games on there.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my goodness. There's
Clockwork
only
Knight. That one's
Clockwork
weird and
Knight
good.
and Clockwork Knight 2. And the soundtracks for those games were bangers. Especially the opening. You had like this weird like samba music going for the opening of Clockwork Knight. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Did you hear the what finally came out or leaked out was Clockwork Knight 2 actually has the first game in it that you unlock with a cheat code.
Oh yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, I remember seeing that the other day.
Wow.
It was because I think in Japan it was going to release as a compilation, but when they brought it over to North America, they didn't want to release the compilation because people would just bought the first game the year before. So they coded the game out or like locked it out on the disc, but still on the disc. So use a cheat code and you can play it. So if you're collecting the Saturn, pick up the second one, I guess.
Yeah,
good to know.
Fuck, I had rural Iowa, all anybody had was the N64 or PS1. I had no idea the Saturn existed until I graduated high school and started getting into emulation and shit. And yeah, fuck, it's got some really fucking good games, and I'm really surprised. I guess I'm not surprised because Sega really did shoot themselves in the foot with it. But fuck, you had Panzer Dragoons, like all the Panzer Dragoons and shit.
Yeah, which are awesome.
Nights into Dreams is really, really fucking good.
Dude, I was so excited for Nights into Dreams. I bought that package that came with like it had the game, the 3D controller, the pillowcase, the t-shirt.
Oh, pillowcase, holy shit.
I ran that pillowcase into the ground. I don't know what happened to it, but I think it got destroyed at some point, and my mom tossed it.
I cuddle with knights every night.
Yeah, Jesus.
Who is the evil one? Riala. We get a Riala body pillow. I'll drool all over that all night. I'm a drooler in my sleep. Fun fact.
The problem with the Saturn for me was the first impressions were never great, right? I also didn't realize it even existed. I'm in Ontario growing up, so downtown Toronto is this place called Ontario Place. It's like think like a fairground. Sega had set up a section at Ontario Place to kind of demonstrate up and coming new hardware and games. It's like a neat, cool thing. Like as a member of the public, you don't get a chance to see unreleased hardware. And they had the Saturn there, and I lined up for a good 20 minutes to play. I walk up, the controller feels like the Genesis controller, and I'm a Genesis kid. I love the Genesis. So here I'm getting to play the next Genesis, the Saturn. And what game do they have in display to demonstrate the power of this hardware? Bug. Fucking Bug.
God damn it.
That's my impression of the Saturn as a kid, and I completely lost interest.
Name it.
I
That's
like
why,
Bug.
Why would you name a game Bug? Like, what are you playing? I'm playing Dirt. What else you play? Tree.
But
I like the
Bug
game
was
Tree.
actually
My
it was
favorite
full of
French game.
character.
I love the game Limb.
And
You can't
what's
tell
funny,
if it's a tree or an actual human arm, but it's a limb of some sort. What,
I'm here
what
to
were you
play.
saying?
I'm here to play Shrub.
What were you saying, Wolf?
What's funny is if you put Bug in a CD player, it'll play all the audio tracks from it, but it'll also play all the voice work from it. So
The voice
you get
work
all the
was
little short
legit.
voice clips like Buggy, nice Buggy.
Ew.
It's just random crap
Yo,
like
that's
that.
my ringtone.
Attaway Apperhead Sleigh.
Oh yeah, it also had Burning Rangers. That was really cool.
That was also another banger of an opening track. Burning Ranger.
What was the treasure game? Guardian Heroes, I think it was. That game was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was a good one. By the way, the UI for the Saturn was really fucking cool. It was like that first person view of like the cockpit of a starship. And if you put like
Yes.
a CD in and you put it on like the visualizer, it would just fly through fucking space and shit. That's still so cool. And that startup
think
sound
a-
too is
It
so good.
it also had it could play CD plus G discs, so it could play karaoke discs.
Oh my god.
Because
Japanese thing.
So ahead of its
Japan was
time.
like, let's cater, right? But the only downside is it had internal memory because it had to. The memory cards for that thing were big and kind of pricey. And so it had a little bit of internal memory. Now, unfortunately, it is not reliable because it ran on like a 2032 battery that would drain probably every 6 months. And
Oh,
like one
man.
single 2032, right? And then it only had, I want to say, like 521 blocks. And that gives you no context whatsoever to how big this is. But most games probably were in the ballpark of about 50 to 150 blocks. Except for Warcraft 2, which I bought before I got a memory card.
That
Warcraft
was on
2.
Saturn?
Uh-huh.
Holy
Zub zub.
shit.
And it's
That's-
pretty good.
Job's done.
I didn't have a PC at the time, but I was getting really into work. Like my buddies and I would play Warcraft 2 on the PCs in the computer lab at school. And
Yeah,
so I was getting really into Warcraft 2, but I couldn't play it at home because I didn't have a PC. I got it for $20 for Saturn at Toys R Us. And I still didn't have a memory card for it. So when I got to like mission 4 or 5, I all of a sudden couldn't save my game because it wanted to save the file at about 800 blocks. So it was too big for the internal RAM.
Oh my
to save.
fucking god. That's
So
nuts.
that was a
Well,
bummer.
that'll teach you for what you did.
I
And
gotta
then
ask though. So the memory cards needed batteries as well, or no?
No, but I
Okay.
have a memory card that my little brother fried. To his credit, he didn't know he was doing it. He was little. I was at school. He was not old enough for school yet. Came home one day and he had turned it on and off so many times.
No.
It didn't just he'd also done this with my
No.
PlayStation that day. Wiped my RPG card clean on PlayStation. So
Oh
and I
my
was near
God.
the end of Wild Arms on that one. I was upset at the time. I didn't take it out on him because he was 4, but I was upset and I stewed on it for a while. But
You would
have
have made him 4
the
feet
Saturn
tall.
memory card, the
The
Saturn
drywall
memory
stood no
card.
Make them
chance.
lick the hardware. That's what you do. Lick them steps. That's
Just
the way
lick
to
the
handle that
steps.
situation.
It went bad. Like it thinks it has 1,000,000 blocks, but it can't save anything.
Wow.
God damn it, that sucks.
By the way,
That's-
I want to go back and say whoever it was that told us the story about having to lick steps, I'm sorry, it's now a joke of ours. We've taken it.
We're taking
It's ours.
it.
We've assembled that.
Press
yeah.
B to
How do you
cancel.
think
Stops
GP
nowhere.
slipped down the stairs?
Fucking is that
Stare-
step
awareness,
level
Stare
24?
awareness. Stare awareness.
The
Stareness.
Genghis Khan of podcasts.
That's right. It is now ours.
The goddamn Mongols came in and stole everything from the podcast.
Fuck. I will say though, I like the look of the Saturn and its controller. Like, I guess like both. What is it? Both versions. Yeah, the Japanese model and the North American model. They both look really fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
In that,
Yeah,
Both
I always
some of
thought the
best
white one
controllers
looked
in the
cooler.
industry.
yeah,
But we did get two versions of the controller in North America. We got the weird rounded one, and then we got the Generation 2, which looks more like the Japanese controller. We
Oh
just
yeah,
saw
the
fewer
pancake
of those.
one. The weird like what is it called? The round one that has like the one thumbstick. What was that one called?
That was the 3D controller.
3D.
That's
The
the one that
analog
came with
controller.
Knights.
Yeah.
And I actually bought an
What a
extra
fucking
one too.
It's so round.
So I have to. Oh, it's definitely the precursor to the Dreamcast controller, right? It's
Sega
Yeah.
was like, "This is a great idea."
yeah.
Print.
You know what people need more of?
Print.
Controllers or circles in their hands.
Yeah. You know what's ergonomic? Circles. Run with it.
Someone
know,
just let the 3D printer just run.
People broke their hand on the Jaguar controller. Let's try it again.
You know what? People don't like phone books in their controllers. Let's make them round.
Needs more buttons.
The Atari's back
More
here.
circles, please.
I do want to go back real quick. I actually, because I loved Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation, when I had the money for it, I ordered out of the back of a magazine from a place called Game Cave, Symphony of the Night, the Japanese one for Saturn. So that's Nocturne in the Moonlight, which
Yeah.
one of your viewers mentioned earlier. That is such an amazing version of Symphony of the Night. I still don't think any other release has topped that one for me.
And very recently, somebody did a
Yes.
translation, a localization. Yeah.
For
I think they also
I will have
updated
to try
some
that
elements to
because
make them
it's so
better,
good.
better graphics to make it a little bit more on par with the PS version. I think it was because the original Saturn
Yeah.
version of that game had some things that weren't as good as the PS version. Although it had
Yeah,
extra
like the
characters, and I
waterfall
always wanted to play
transparencies
that.
were not good,
Yeah,
or the
Fuck.
mist.
I don't know if I'm doing something wrong on my little like retro handheld thingy, but whenever the Japanese version or the new translated version, whatever, the new patch, for whatever reason, every single time I beat Dracula in the beginning, the game just crashes on me, and it makes me so sad because I want to fucking finish this again for the 50th
Oh.
time, but it
you
keeps
might want to try
crashing.
patching a different
And-
version of the original game because there's different releases of it. So you might have the wrong ROM or the wrong ISO.
I will
That's-
mention
yeah, I'll
to-
try that.
To anybody who has not played Nocturne of the Moonlight, but you have some sort of means to do it, and you just haven't yet, if part of the reason is like, Symphony of the Night was already great, there's no way they could do better. Dude, it adds 3 new areas and a ton of classic Castlevania tracks that were not in the original Symphony of the Night. You
Yeah.
got 2 versions of Bloody Tears, 2 versions of Vampire Killer. They went all out with that.
Holy
So,
shit.
Yeah,
It's
the Saturn
so
version's
good.
cool. Can't you play as Maria in the Saturn version
Yeah.
too, where you couldn't
Yes.
play as
Throws
them?
animals
and-
as a weapon.
Yeah.
And
the
Start off
birds,
as Richter
disturbing.
too, like right away, can't you? Or I guess-
I think you have to beat it before you can play as Maria or Richter. I don't remember
Yeah.
specifically, but it becomes a character selection screen. So it's not enter a code to play as them.
Right.
That and Maria is so much cooler in that version than she's been in subsequent releases. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like they nerfed the crap out of her in subsequent releases where you could play as her. She is a badass in
Yeah,
that
she's
game.
she's cool in that version.
Oh man, you guys remember Sonic Extreme and the like the series of unfortunate events that was its development? Rip
No,
Sonic Extreme.
I know it didn't come to fruition, but I never really learned why.
There was a lot that was wrong with Sonic Extreme. Like, holy shit, where do I even begin? Like, it started off, I think, either for the Genesis or for I think it started off for the 32X, and they were so close to finishing the game. Then they were like, "Nope, scrap it. It's going on the Saturn." So they had to redo it all for the Saturn,
Oh,
and then the team had no idea how to develop a game for a 3D console, let alone for the Saturn hardware. So they were kind of just like learning the engine for the Saturn as they went along,
Oh
and
man.
and they split development into two teams. Like one team handled the platforming sections, and the other team handled the boss battles and all that. And there was like very little communication between the two teams, and like no communication from Sega of Japan either. Uh, but fuck, I forget what else there was, but there was so much going wrong for that game.
It's okay. You know why? Because Sega said we don't need Sonic Extreme. We already got Sonic 3D Blast.
Oh
We're good.
fuck yeah!
We don't need it anymore. Which, if anybody who's played Sonic 3D Blast and you said, "Wow, this game sucks," you're not wrong. But for the Saturn version, the one of the people who worked on the game, one of the coders, just like about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was, on his personal webpage, he released a ROM hack for his own game that he made or he coded, and it does a whole lot of quality of life improvements and making the game a lot better than what it was at release. So Sonic 3D Blast is worth playing with that patch from the creator.
Is that for the Genesis or the Saturn?
I thought it was Saturn. Was it not for the Saturn version?
It's
I don't
for
know,
both,
but I know the game
actually.
was. Yeah, it was on Genesis and Saturn, and most people played
the
the
game
Genesis
was, yeah.
version, which truly is garbage.
Mhm.
The Saturn version is far superior.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Any other last words for the Saturn before we take an ad break and then go to the next one?
More
Fighters
circles.
Mega Mix.
More circle. Oh yeah.
Oh,
was
the
it
fighting games are so good.
was Fighters Mega Mix the one where you could play as Hornet, the car?
Yes,
Yeah, the NASCAR.
Yeah.
good old 42.
Or fucking Fighting Vipers. That one was pretty funny.
Fighting Vipers was good. Last Bronx was really good. Yeah,
Sonic
Sega
the
had
Fighters. No, wait, no, that was arcade.
No, Sonic the Fighters was arcade only.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it once in the arcade in the United States. Like, that's
Correct
it.
me if was Virtual Fighter Saturn or was that Dreamcast?
That was Saturn.
No,
Saturn.
Saturn. Virtual
I-
Fighter
Virtual
2
Fighter
was,
1,
was-
2,
yeah.
Remix,
Yeah.
and Kids. All
Okay.
Saturn.
I thought that was a cool addition to bring Virtual Fighter to like the home console was kind of a super deal
mean,
for me.
So Sega, the first party titles for the Saturn were almost all amazing games.
Yeah.
It's when you get to third party that some of them are kind of but even like people don't remember that Tomb Raider came out for the Saturn before it came out for the PlayStation.
Right? It
So-
did. Yeah.
Like Saturn was not a bad console outright. It was just behind the scenes on the Saturn was absolutely screwed. They messed up so many ways. By all
it was,
accounts,
it was
the
a
Saturn
marketing
should
issue
have been a
because
hit.
they dropped the Sega 3D, Sega CD, and the 32X, and then like surprise, here's Saturn. And I mean, the consumers just had no confidence in Sega. They're like, why would you? Right?
Yeah.
There's no reason to buy a Saturn when they've screwed people over the last couple of years with the add-ons.
I forgot that they had that thing with Shining Force 3 where they split it up into like 3 parts, but the US
Oh.
only got the first part for whatever
Yeah, we
reason.
only it wasn't
Almost
just
like
3
Golden
parts.
Sun.
No. Okay, Shining Force 3, first off, is so much better than Golden Sun. Because Golden Sun led you to believe that you had a whole game, and then you had half an adventure in the game. I will hold off on shitting on it further, even though I could. Which, I mean, it was a huge disappointment from the Beyond team. Let's leave it there. Shining Force 3, the first scenario, which is what North America got, is a full game. It's a satisfying game. Done. You beat it once, that's good. You don't even need to know that it had 2 other scenarios. In Japan, it got 2 other scenarios that run side by side with the first game's scenario. And it tells it from different character stories. So you tell it from the first one tells it from the Symbiosis perspective. I think the second one told it from Julian's perspective, and the third one, I don't remember who it told from.
First off, sir, Golden Sun started off as it was supposed to be on the N64, but then they moved it
Well, they
over
missed.
to the what'd you
They
say?
missed the N64 by a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's good. Try it again. I promise it's good.
No. I did say that mechanically, graphically, musically, it's top tier. but they shafted the consumers with half an adventure. So
Oh man, but you get so much out of the first one, and then the second one, it's like there's way more in that second half too. There's more Jin. The puzzles are fucking ridiculous. The summons are more bombastic and fucking world ending. It's
See, the
great.
summons are why I like the first one too. Like, I want to play this game. I think you're just bashing on it, Wolf. I think maybe if you played it in 2024, you might like it more.
yeah,
I- I'm gonna have to give it
honestly,
a
had
shot.
I not bought it brand new when it came out, I probably would not hate it. I'd probably have
Yeah.
gone back and tried it and been like, "Yeah, this is good." But
Yeah.
because I paid full price for it when it released, I felt very shafted.
Right.
By the way, I forgot about Sonic. I always forget about Sonic R.
Oh,
Fuck that game.
dude.
I,
Oh,
I,
that's the kart one, right? The kart racing.
where
It's not
Sonic
well,
runs.
yeah, I guess a couple of them ride in a cart. Like Robotnik rides in a cart, but most of them are just running around on foot. And the soundtrack is so good.
The
It's
soundtrack
so
is
cheesy,
really good.
but it's
Yeah.
so good. Living in the city, you know you have to survive.
Oh my! The first one that always comes to mind for me is the "Can you feel the sunshine?"
Yeah, it's all
Bow.
bangers. It's all like supremely cheesy, upbeat pop bangers.
That's one thing that Sonic has always had going for it. No matter how bad the games are, they always have fucking rip roaring ass soundtracks. Like
Yes.
even Sonic 06 had really good tracks. Maybe not Knuckles Chaotix. Sonic CD had some really fucking good
Oh.
shit.
Oh, Sonic CD
Both
soundtrack.
versions.
Both American and Japanese are great banger soundtracks.
Yeah.
Sonic 2 and 3 are the banger soundtracks, though we're not talking about those gens. Those are some of my favorite soundtracks growing up are from
Hell
Well,
those
yeah.
those
two
are
games.
in Sonic Jam on the Saturn. There you go.
No, okay.
Oh,
there-
shit. Yeah,
There you go.
cool.
Tie it
Take it.
in. Thank you for tying that in.
You're welcome.
Best game of the
that
fifth
was
gen
like
era,
the only
Sonic 2 and
taste we
3.
got of a 3D Sonic on the Saturn.
Any last words for the Saturn boys?
Nah, I have gushed enough.
All right, let's take an ad break. We'll be right back. This episode was brought to you today by our wonderful and ever so gracious patrons. A Novel Console, Jared, Jameson, Adam, and Trey. Your continued support means fucking everything to me, and I don't know how to thank you enough. I can't thank you enough, honestly. It's just so awesome that of all the podcasts out there, you would support Super Pod Saga, and I really, really appreciate it. So much so I can't put it into words, but all of you are stand-up, handsome fellas, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. If you're a fan of coffee and you're looking for something different, I think we've got just the thing for you. That's Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee is not your usual coffee company. Of course, it's all sugar-free, gluten-free, all that stuff because it's just coffee, nothing added to it. But they roast each batch of coffee beans to your order, and they've got just a bazillion different flavors to choose from. They've got your usual French vanilla, salted caramel, they've got Irish cream, of course they've got decaf, single origin coffees like Kenya, Guatemala, stuff like that, even what they call high voltage, which is extra strength, extra caffeine, but they have all sorts of other awesome kind of out of the box flavors. They've got ones like cotton candy, maple bacon, and even mint chocolate chip ice cream. And they're always coming up with new crossover flavors, like they've done a bunch for Nightmare Before Christmas, Indiana Jones, even Spider-Man, of all things. And they're also coming up with new seasonal flavors all the time. If this sounds right up your alley, feel free to use the link in our episode description and use coupon code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. That's SUPERPODSAGA at checkout to get 20% off your order. And if you're not just in the market for coffee, you can also get some sweet mugs. They've got lots of cool shirts. They've got all sorts of different brewing equipment like French presses, stuff like that. Just head on over to bonescoffee.com, or again, use the link in our episode description and get 20% off. Get yourself a new interesting flavor and spice up your morning routine with Bones Coffee. I really hope you enjoy. I'm a really big fan of it, and I hope you find one that really hooks you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. But that's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It's very important to replace those electrolytes, you know? And I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get one packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I've felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And again, 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SUPERPODSAGA at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SUPERPODSAGA, SUPERPODSAGA at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars. Pick one or two. Number 1 or number 2?
2.
I always love it too.
Okay. Fuck. Are the odds stacked entirely against you? Have you been rightfully convicted of manslaughter? Have you been rightfully accused of murder because you did a murder, or you committed a huge felony? Hop on down to the law offices of Aaron, and Aaron, where we'll even though, the odds are completely stacked entirely against you and you have little to no hope at all of getting off of death row, we'll try our goddamnedest. We'll use every trick in the book, like pleading with the judge on our hands and knees, begging and pleading for your life. We'll slip each of the jurors a 20 and then sob all over them. We'll buy them all a meal from McDonald's. And that's pretty much everything in our playbook. Here at the law offices of Aaron, and Aaron, I mean, fuck, there's little to no, slim to none chance of getting you off of death row, but there is a chance. And we'll take that goddamn chance. Hey, let's talk to some satisfied customers. Hey guys, what have been your experiences like with the law offices of Aaron?
My lawyer licked the carpet stairs to get me out of jail. They lost, but I appreciate the effort.
My lawyer thought I was a juror and slipped me a 20.
Now I'm in jail with $20.
They did all they could, but the judge wasn't taking it, so here I am. But at least I, the jury didn't hate me. They just didn't believe me.
I was caught shoplifting, but thanks to Aaron, and Aaron, crime averted.
That's our slogan. Crime averted.
My dad slipped it into his jacket after my little brother was saying, "Can we get this? Can we get this?" And we got away with it.
That's right. That's what the law offices of Aaron, and Aaron can do for you. They might have damning evidence, cold, hard, damning evidence, and you may have a 9.5 out of 10 chance of going to prison for life. But goddamn it, we'll try every trick in the book. We'll even try sending each of the jurors on down to California, sunny California, to be on the Oprah Winfrey show where they could win a free car. We'll slip them a Chuck E. Cheese token card. Let them have a good time. We'll do everything we can to get you hopefully off of death row, but we might not.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. There's a very, very slim chance we'll get you off. But hey, we tried. No, that's the slogan. We tried. Thanks, Aaron law offices. And we're back. Here's where we start to get some memories for me. The PlayStation. Finally, a fucking console that was around in Iowa. Thank God. Fuck. I can't recall the first game I ever played on the PlayStation, but I know my stepdad worked at at this trucking company. He worked cleaning out trucks and shit. And this one trucker was like, "Hey, here's this PlayStation and this big black case full of games. You can have it for $100." And he was like, "Well, hell yeah." And so we as kids were like, double hell yeah. And I had Final Fantasy 7 and 8, the 2 Resident Evils at the time. It had fucking Darkstone, even though it's a piece of shit. It had Kingsfield 2.
Please tell me there was some
Kingsfield 2 was
silent.
good.
Please tell me there was some Silent Hills in there.
Oh,
No,
Silent Hill.
Unfortunately, no, it didn't have Silent Hill. There was what else was there?
Sure, Twisted Metal might have been thrown in there at some point, man.
I don't think so.
Oh wow, Twisted Metal was
Gran
like
Turismo?
I pretty much assumed the
I think
Twisted
there
Metal
was
came with every PlayStation 1 because every person that had a PlayStation 1 had Twisted Metal.
I didn't. I had 2 after numerous rentals.
Man.
We played so much Twisted Metal 2 at my cousin's house, though. Like whenever my dad whenever I was on my dad's for the weekend and he had to go to work, we would just stay with my uncle, and holy fuck, we would take turns unlocking characters, or like because we didn't have the multi-tap, we would take turns playing multiplayer because there was like 4 of us. Yeah, Twisted Metal is the shit.
What was the Twisted Metal that had the endings cut? Because I know we talked about this before in the past. There was one of them had all the live action endings cut, but you can see them online today, and they're hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was Twisted Metal 1.
Was it the first one? Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
because I think you get is like a text screen in Twisted Metal 1, but they had filmed really B movie style endings for all the characters, and it's worth watching.
Yeah. Did you guys have Jet Moto?
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Jet
There were
Moto.
3 of
Jet
them.
Moto
You never
was
played
great.
Jet Moto?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
man.
great.
I don't think so.
Oh, it was like hover bikes, and it was like it was like a motorcycle racer, but instead of motorcycles, it was jet bikes. So you were going over like
Oof.
weird, so many different places. Like you'd be cruising over rivers and tundra and ice drifts and desert and jungle. They went all over the place. It was cool.
Yeah, I never played that, but it gives me real big wave race vibes.
Yeah, without the nice water.
It wasn't as pretty, but it was better.
What the fuck is that one PS2 Connecticut. It reminds me of Connecticut for some reason. The launch title nobody remembers from the PS2.
Yeah, the one where the people were the motorcycles. They'd hold the wheels in their hands. I remember that.
Yeah, it reminds me of that for some
What?
ass reason. Connecticut, man.
That's a game.
Yeah, I
Connecticut.
don't know this one at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
It looked like a really bad Extreme G.
Extreme
I liked
G.
Extreme G though.
That's why I said it looked like a really bad Extreme G. Because Extreme G was not really bad.
God damn, Gran Turismo sold 10.85 million copies as of
Gran
April
Turismo
3rd.
was
Holy
an
shit.
epic game for the PlayStation. That was like a system seller for the right kind of audience. That was one
Yeah.
that people who are really into cars and to racing, that was like the game to get. Like,
Well,
that-
shit.
that's an
It's. I
iconic
mean, it's
franchise.
still like highly
Still great.
touted. I mean, it's how many years has that goddamn game been around?
But like, you want to talk about a game that shows what the system can do? Gran Turismo always pushed those systems to their limit and always made PlayStation look good, regardless of what console they got released on. They always pushed the limits.
And the soundtracks are always so good for each Gran Turismo game. Like they could have just been like, they could have just phoned it in and been like, hey, let's get licensed tracks. Let's get some fucking Alien Ant Farm. You know, one of the two popular songs they have. But nope, they were like, let's make original banging like trance and like house tracks. And oh my God, it's great.
How dare you besmirch the name of Alien Ant Farm?
I only know two of their songs.
I freaking
though.
love Alien Ant Farm still.
But
to
those
this day.
two good songs.
But they're
need?
two.
Listen, their first album is a banger. It's a solid track. You keep it quiet out there, Canada.
I'm agreeing with you. I like Alien Ant Farm. I
Oh,
like
okay.
Smooth Criminal.
Oh
It's just
God.
a shame Michael Jackson ripped that cover. I don't know.
Mhm. Originally written by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I played a lot of RPGs on the PlayStation. Growing
Hell
up.
yeah.
We Lunar and not the Saturn version, PlayStation version. Of course, Final Fantasy VII. When I saw Final Fantasy VII, because I thought to myself, nothing could be better than Final Fantasy VI, and I'm still right. But that's not the point. Seven is the Beatles. I always relate this. Final Fantasy VII is the Beatles to music, right? For Final Fantasy, so it brought Final Fantasy to the masses. It may not be everybody's favorite band, but you got to admit they did some shit for the series, right? The Beatles did some shit for music.
fair.
You don't have to love the Beatles, but you got to respect them for what they did, right? And it's kind of the same. I get the same kind of feel for Final Fantasy VII. So we'll go ahead and we won't talk about the remake because that's going to send me on a tangent that nobody wants to hear. Speaking of a tangent that nobody wants to hear, Final Fantasy VIII is trash. Don't ever play it, and if you do, I'm sorry that you can't get that time back. However, the redemption of Final Fantasy IX is a spectacular
My favorite game.
It is a great game. It is a wonderfully spectacular game. But I mean, God, Wild Arms,
Chrono Cross.
don't talk about Chrono Cross.
Hey,
Oh,
Cross
I love Chrono
awesome.
Cross.
These
Let's-
Aaron, these guys are wrong. Don't listen to them. Chrono Cross is a fantastic game. Just
Yes,
pretend it's
thank you.
not got Chrono in the title. That's all you
It's got-
Let's get back on a good
The
track
story
here.
ties
So
let's
to
we
go.
could
Chrono
Let's-
Trigger,
let's-
so it's
you know
Wild
what?
Arms.
I don't feel like steering off this cliff. We're going to keep the car on the road, and we're going to go ahead and continue with, like I said, Wild Arms. Some of my
Tekken.
favorite Tekken. I mean, some of my favorite
Sorry, go
horror
ahead.
games were in this. Silent Hill, we mentioned earlier today.
Yeah.
Silent Hill is my all-time favorite horror game series out of that era.
Oh yeah.
Spectacular game, which 2
And-
is my favorite, but again,
Yeah,
we're not
2.
talking about that series. It's one set it all up, obviously, for what it turned out to be, and I spent a lot of time playing a lot of hours of Silent Hill, and all 3 of those Final Fantasies, and wishing that while I was playing 8, I could get any of that time that I lost back. And I'm hoping there's a God out there somewhere that can answer my prayers of at least giving me the 15 minutes it took me to realize how awful that freaking game is, and move forward with my life. So, PlayStation 1 is going to be my favorite out of the grouping that we will talk today. So I love that series. I love what Sony did to the market and what they brought. forward all the way up to the PlayStation 5. I've loved every single one of them. So.
I just wish the controller was better. That's my only problem. Is
Oh
that
God,
D-pad's
Jake!
still
Why do
ass,
you
even in
always have to
2020.
come in,
I'm with
Jake?
Jake.
You have to come in
It's an
and
awful
always
D-pad. What's wrong with
ruin
you?
everything that's good. I don't understand what's wrong with you.
Look, there's
Get a new
lots of
mic.
great games in the system. The
I can't
controller
hear
just
you.
sucks.
Your mic is too
Yeah,
bad. You need to get
okay,
better.
all right. You telling me the segmented D-pad is what you prefer to play on? You're
Yes,
nuts.
because I do.
No.
I play it
Like,
all
what's
the
with the-
time. This
And
isn't
why
press
did they
B.
go away
Don't
from
argue with
1,
me.
2, 3, 4 or
You know what?
ABC? Why do they have to go with shapes?
The next
Who the hell can remember
time,
the shapes?
next time somebody invites us over for dinner, let's not bring our outside laundry in, please.
Right. Yeah, like
Let's
let's press
fair,
triangle
the
in this
shapes are
conversation. Chard. Press
numbers.
triangle.
Yeah,
Anyways,
The shapes are numbers of lines.
The PlayStation is my favorite controller out of everything, and apparently I'm
Hold
the
on.
only one that likes the PlayStation controller
What
all
Da
the way
Vinci
up to
Code do I have
5.
to do to figure out these buttons?
Listen,
That's
you know what?
nuts.
I don't
You
mind
just got to
it.
be smarter than the controller, Jake. That's all you got to be. It's fine.
Right.
You got to literally. Jake likes his controllers to literally spell it out for him. I like shapes and colors.
Look, I'm a touch typer. Okay, I need clear buttons. Please.
Weeble pressing the any key on his keyboard.
Aaron mentioned Tekken. Tekken 3 was a fighting game that made people jealous if you didn't own. That game was fantastic. It looked great, sound was great. And I've never been a huge Tekken fan, but I'll tell you, when I played Tekken 3, every character, and there's a lot of characters, a lot of secrets, every character has their own ending, and the variety of the endings. Some of them are 3D rendered, some of them are like anime for some reason, some of them are hilarious, some are more serious. Tekken lore is something you got to see. Like if you play any of these games on PS that are fighting, forget Battle Toshinden. Go play Tekken 3 just for the endings. It's hilarious what they do with those.
Plus, if you play as Yoshimitsu, you can like fall down by yourself. It's fine.
They had so many cool unlockable characters in that game, like the bear, the one like
Okuma.
the
love
the
Kuma.
wooden person who like mimicked other
Yeah.
characters. I forget their name.
Okujin, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh,
Nice.
and Gone, the little dinosaur guy. He's cool.
And
They had
then
like a
there's the kangaroo
velociraptor
with
and a
yeah,
dude with a
boxing
Jack.
jaguar head.
think.
I'm like, what in the hell? His name was like Pete or something. Like I don't know what
We're
the
talking about
King.
King.
The guy with the jaguar head is
don't
King.
know.
He's a wrestler. No, you
Fucking
don't understand, Chard.
Jim,
The lore
the
between
fighter.
King and Armored King is Nemesis, who's not King, even though he wears the same getup, but it's gray and he wears armor, hence the name. But he's a different character. There's lore on King and Armored King. You have to dive into it. I'm telling you, go
It's
watch
good.
the endings for every Tekken game on that character. It's worth the investment of your time.
Got a dude
How
with
about I
like
just play
a
Soul
battle
Blade?
axe. Yeah. Let's play Soul Blade. We got a dude with like a battle axe and like 10-inch spikes off of his shoulders, and his name is like Dawn. Like I just don't
Yeah, but-
understand. Yeah.
I was taking a drink. How dare you? You almost killed
Sorry,
me.
sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, how have we? I almost said how we not talked about Crash Bandicoot, but I'm not a big Crash Bandicoot guy.
Because
never
you
played it.
know, blind jumps are always
I mean,
great.
Spyro. Spyro is one
Spyro's good.
hell of a
Spyro's
platformer.
cool.
I love Spyro. My wife, it's one of my wife's favorite games, so she absolutely loves that game. If I don't talk about Spyro on somebody else's podcast, then I'll probably be served papers when I wake up in the morning. So I feel like I need to get that out there. Spyro is a great platformer. I know Crash gets a lot of love, and I never understood it over Spyro.
I thought
always
Crash
my
was
favorite one.
fine until you had like the running toward the screen
Yeah,
modes,
I
where
hate
it's like
that
Yeah.
shit.
blind jump
Yeah.
the game, and
I
I was
just-
just like,
I don't like rail games. I've just never been a fan of like rail runner type games. It's
I
just
think-
not my game.
I think I'd rather play Menu the game.
Menu the game, Final Fantasy menu.
Yeah, Final
That's
Fantasy VIII.
that's what Final Fantasy 8 is, a menu. The final
me,
boss is
my-
a menu.
My favorite game on the PlayStation is probably Metal Gear. You want to talk about a game that is
Ooh.
like a cinematic experience, and it's just the graphics, the music, the plot. Metal Gear Solid on PS is my favorite on the system, hands down.
I think
Metal Gear was a very good game.
out of all the systems that I have on my my little Anbernic Delio, I think the PS1 has the most like ROMs that I've downloaded. Because fuck, both Parasite Eves are really fucking good, even though the second one fucking they watered it down quite a bit. Oh my god, why can't I think of any of these off the top of my head? Um, somebody fill me
Did you
in.
play Ape Escape? Ape Escape is the one
Oh, yeah.
series where I wish they would bring it back. I think there was 2 on the PlayStation, and then it kind of tanked. They never did anything with that IP. I'd love to see a PS5 version of Ape Escape. I think that's one that needs to come back.
Oh, and medieval or however you say it. That's
yeah.
Medieval, yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Jake won't ever play Ape Escape on the PS5 because he doesn't like controllers.
It's a trash controller, Chard. It's like a $90 drift machine. Look, the Xbox controller is so much better. I
Drift
can't believe-
machine? What are you talking
Yes.
about? Oh, we're not getting
It's
into this right
awful.
now. We will take
Yeah.
this to Marco Polo.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys ever have any friends who you lent a game to, or like they borrowed a game from you and they ended up just destroying it, or like
Oh yeah.
or worse?
I have
I
3
remember-
copies of Dead Space because of that very thing. So yeah.
Well, and I also remember that this drove the industry of like CD repair kits. Remember those?
Did those work?
Ooh.
The little
gotta
the little
ask.
grinder thingies.
They do.
Yeah.
They,
Oh
they
my
work.
God, those-
They work until they don't.
Well, yeah.
Mine never worked. It would just make the CDs worse.
I almost lost Mass Effect because my mother removed my Xbox while it was still running because she was trying to get to something and it was behind my Xbox while I was playing it and it ate the shit out of my CD. But thank God for that
Oh,
grinder. I
no.
could keep playing.
I remember there was like that big rumor that you could just like smear toothpaste
Yeah.
on your discs,
Right.
and then
then
that
rub
they
'em.
would work.
Yeah.
But does that did that actually work? I never did that because I
no.
don't.
It probably is a similar
Okay.
concept, but the whole thing with the little kits is they would grind in a very specific direction.
Mhm.
If you did the wrong direction, you'd just make it worse. So I think maybe Wulff had a backwards grinder or something.
Fucking those like VHS cleaner. Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's totally different. Holy shit.
I put it in
I
there
miss
and,
those.
and it separated it into 2 discs.
Yeah,
It's like an outer ring and an inner ring.
yeah.
Apparently, people are saying that toothpaste does work on CDs.
Like I said, as long
Really?
as you rub it
Well,
in
it's
the
an
right direction.
abrasive, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a clip for you.
Rub it the-
Just rub it the right direction. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
To
great.
quote Christina Aguilera,
Yeah.
rub it in the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
direction.
that's right. It's some kind of genie in some kind of bottle,
Yeah.
Some kind of genie and some kind of containment device.
some kind of container.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So okay. In the Super Pod Saga lore, there's this evil entity known as Matt R. He was this motherfucker that Tommy and I grew up with in school, who eventually moved, thank fuck. But I
Yeah.
let this I've lent this kid I think 2 games, and I've regretted it both times. So I lent him my copy of Final Fantasy VII, and he brings it back to me, and the second disc is scratched to piss. Like, it's just unplayable. So that goes in the trash. Then I let him borrow my copy of Resident Evil Director's Cut, and I think it was like a month or 2 after lending him the game, I was like, dude, where the fuck is my game at? And he was like, oh, I don't have it. Turns out he just gave it to some other kid. Just fucking gave it to some other kid. Like, it's his game.
Wow.
But yeah, that shit sucks. Little story for everybody. Also, those like, did anybody else ever store their games in one of those like DVD
Oh,
like
God.
CD
Oh, hell yeah.
jacket things?
Gosh,
still
those
have it.
things-
I still have mine sitting on the shelf.
I
Yeah.
hate those things. I have some Saturn games that have to live in that because they came without a case. I bought a lot of games at one point, and it came with a bunch that were caseless, and so they live in there, but not much else does.
See, my thing is I
Oh.
hated jewel cases, like CD jewel cases, which is PS used. Those things were not durable. They broke all
Yeah.
the damn time, right? Like the Saturn, I think, Wulff, if I'm not wrong, they had much larger Genesis style cases, I think.
Yeah, they were more like rectangular than a square.
Right. Yeah. I think more
What the
durable
fuck was
as
up
well.
with those cases too? Those things were nuts.
Maybe they meant to do a
Thick.
cartridge originally.
Fuck. Speaking of what, I guess any
Yeah.
last
Now,
words for the?
speaking of cartridges,
Nope.
hey, look, I've
Segue.
given you 2 segues tonight.
Yeah.
You're doing my job for me. Speaking of cartridges, yeah, N64. Here
See,
we
this
go.
this was the one that I had the most experience out of in the 5th generation. Well, aside from the Virtua Boy ruining my posture for life,
Ruining my life.
well, and my posture. Yeah. No, I actually joined the N64 later in life. I think they sold it until like 2002 or something like that.
Holy shit.
And I think I picked it up around that time. And like I still have it on my shelf, pointing at my shelf for those that want bingo.
There you go.
But I have like the limited edition Majora's Mask, and I don't know. I love that system. And what's funny is my favorite game on that system is Dr. Mario 64. I love that version of Dr. Mario. I love it. The Tetris on there is great. Yeah.
Tetrasphere? No, I'm joking.
Tetris Evolved or something.
That's like, yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right. There was
It was the first time I had the shoulder button to save a piece. It was the first time I experienced saving a piece.
there was like another. I guess it's not related to Tetris, but there was this game called Wetrix.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
Yep.
that game's so weird and
It is.
cool. You just make craters and
Yep.
puddles, and then
Yep.
God damn it, that game's so good.
Yep.
I just remember being thrilled that Mario could do a backflip, and I
Mhm.
was just all about that life. Kicking the penguin off the ice stage at like the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we got our joy from all kinds of stuff, but
Pitching animals off cliffs is where it's at.
That's totally where it's
really
at.
Yeah,
Especially penguin children.
yes, absolutely.
and he's got a voice now too.
Mhm.
Waha!
Yeah, I mean,
All
you
that
could
shit.
actually hear the elation of him jumping around and burning his ass on fire. But I got to drop Star Fox 64 being
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that one's so good.
And
crazily played
Super
game.
good game.
It's
and
such a great
F-Zero X or F-Zero 64.
F-Zero 64 was great as well.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, man, we played
GoldenEye.
that Mario and Ocarina of Time were my top 3 played games on the Nintendo 64. I had hours spent riding fucking Epoch around the goddamn the floor, trying to find the Lone Ranch, doing all that crazy shit, man. It's such a
Epona.
Epona, whatever.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
say things
No.
differently down here than we do in Canada, but I'm just saying
Apparently, yeah.
it was a fantastic series of games, and I spent a lot of time at my friend's house playing Nintendo 64.
If
with
you
her,
want to
so.
talk raw hours in a 64 game, it probably was GoldenEye. Mainly because
Oh,
my
hell
buddies,
yeah.
my buddies and I
Mm.
would just sit there until
Yeah.
like 4:30 in the morning.
Yep.
You know, red bloodshot eyes. You're not blinking anymore.
Yep.
You're just like you blink and your eyes almost pop out because it's like so dry. And
Yep.
you're just, and you hear that.
We would curse the friend who picked Odd Job, of course.
Yeah.
And I went to a school that was primarily full of 4-H'ers and future cowboys and things along the
Future
lines.
Cowboys.
And every time we picked up the revolver, someone would scream "Cowboy up," and
God.
and we would then proceed to go hunting with that. The N64 is a wonderful system that it brought friends together. I mean, honestly,
Well,
it's such a cheesy
four player
thing.
without a tap.
I mean,
4
it
player
was
without a tap.
Yeah.
extremely well put together system, and I have a lot of very good memories out of the N64.
A lot of
I
good
think for
co-op
me, when I
games,
look
too.
at N64 versus PlayStation, because that was, the genre wars or the console wars, right? There's something about the PS1's graphics that just don't hold up today. Maybe it's the low res texture or the low polys. I don't know. But the N64's graphics, to me today, still hold up. Like Turok on the N64 looks great even today, and I love to play it. But if I go
Oh,
and try
the
and play
fog.
Tomb Raider,
Yeah,
well, okay, there's fog, but forget the fog. Everything else about it, like it's the lines aren't as jaggy, the textures look a lot smoother. It just feels better graphic wise than the N64.
It was a genuine 64-bit system. It wasn't this fake 64-bit.
It didn't have like 3 chips in it or something.
No, it was a genuine
Fuck you, Tom
64-bit.
and Jerry.
I mean, it was a partnership with Silicon Graphics, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah. And so like that was their bread and butter. Like they were the ones that did all of the military simulators and stuff, right?
This system has Moon Unit Alpha,
Yeah.
Moon Unit Zappa.
Look, it does. Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Perfect Dark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
My-
it was a good one.
Oh yeah.
My brother and I played the shit out of the multiplayer for that. Not so much the co-op, because you had to have the expansion pack for that for some
Yeah,
reason.
but the multiplayer
Uh,
was the weapons in that were so much more interesting than
Yeah.
what GoldenEye had. I would
Mhm.
say GoldenEye was the better experience, but the using the remote rockets, it's kind of unmatched.
and and doing what was the spinning thing? The Reaper, and doing doing secondary fire only, because like the primary fire was, it would spin and it was rapid fire, but then the secondary fire was called the Grinder, and it was just like close range only. It just basically slashed them to death. We would do like grinders only, and it was just the stupidest shit ever.
Nice.
Nice.
Fucking what? Of course, Smash, Mario Kart,
Donkey Kong 64
Donkey Kong,
had the best intro song of any game ever.
Oh boy.
DK,
Oh,
Donkey
boy.
Kong.
The one thing that Jake and I do agree on is our disdain for most Donkey Kong stuff. So
Yeah, I can't stand Donkey Kong. I mean, the only time it redeems itself for me is on the Wii with Donkey Kong Returns. That one's pretty decent, but
Not even Donkey Kong
DK64
Country?
is just too long of
Yeah.
a game, right?
I
That's
can't
like that was
stand Donkey Kong
yeah.
Country.
like I'd rather play Banjo-Kazooie than DK64, but hands down. Like
Yep.
I loved Banjo-Kazooie, and that's the same collectathon bullshit, but just not as much of it as DK had.
Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers.
He did say Smash Brothers. a few
Okay.
minutes ago, yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie.
Yeah.
Those are still good.
I think Mystical Ninja's better.
Mystical Ninja's great.
Dash,
And Mischief Makers.
Shake,
Mischief
shake, shake.
Makers. Yeah. Little totem head dudes. Oh man, it's too late for me. I can't think of any of my
All right,
favorites anymore.
I went and pulled out my cartridges. It is the new Tetris is the one that I really liked.
New Tetris.
That is a
New
decent one. I
Tetris.
like that one. Yeah.
And then of course F-Zero X.
Not
Super
that
Mario
old Tetris,
64.
but that new Tetris.
Yeah.
With the
Excite
new
Bike
Tetris
64,
Fucking
which was
Excite Bike.
which was trash, but Mario Kart 64.
Oh,
Oh,
Wave
that-
Race.
Mario
Wave Race
Kart's so good.
64,
Wave Race,
whatever
yeah,
the fuck
Wave
it's
Race is
called.
good.
That's good.
Mm. Cruising.
Oh,
Cruising
Yeah, Cruising
World.
USA. Cruising World.
Cruising USA, Cruising
Have
World.
you guys not played Blast
San
Corps or no?
Francisco Rush.
I have
Rush
Blast Corps, that's good.
2049.
Yeah.
Oh man, Rush 2049.
It was a great system,
It
front to
was.
back.
Yeah.
And hey, if you had 3 arms, the controller was perfection.
Oh, that's right. Because there was what was that one game? Sin and Punishment. They made you use the 2 outer ones. You use the D-pad to move.
Didn't that one not come to North America?
I think so. They I think they first brought it to the US with the Wii.
Yeah, the
The Wii or Wii U Virtual Console.
The Wii Virtual Console. Yeah, that's when it first came to the North America, I believe.
Reading a little bit about the Atari Jaguar and its like goofy development. While I'm also trying to talk about these games, I'm getting super sidetracked. And the PC FX. I forgot about that too. That was
Yeah.
technically this generation. What the that thing is so fat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a PCFX. Maybe I gotta
Is that
see
a
it.
console?
It was,
was only,
I think it was in Japan only.
Yeah, that was Japan
Okay.
only. Yeah, do you guys want to talk about some of the other goofy shit that came out this generation, like the Amiga CD32 and all of its junky, fucking dumpy, gross games?
I
Well,
never-
remember that the 32X.
Don't be biased.
The 32X was like this era.
Yeah, the 32X was
Oh, yeah.
was the attempt at updating the stuff, and instead it just caused fire hazards and lots of frustration. I was close to purchasing a 32X for my Sega Genesis, and I ended up buying Descent and a Sidewinder joystick, and I'm glad that was the decision that I made for my birthday, because my parents were like, "You can have this, or you can get these 2 things," and I went, 2 is better than 1, so I went with that. So
Game Boy Color was this generation.
Yeah.
Talk about cutting edge. I love my Game Boy Color. I mean, I had the original, of course, but I bought a Game Boy Color. I got a payday the one time, and I picked up Donkey Kong. It's called Donkey Kong 94 these days. That is a solid port of Donkey Kong that then expands into a wild 100-level puzzle game. I love that.
Holy
that
shit.
game of Donkey Kong.
Well-
Didn't Game Boy Color the one that had like the different Game Boys with the different like specialty cases, like the
Call 'em
specialty color
flavors.
cases? Yeah, the flavors. Right.
Yeah.
Different colors, wild
That's
color.
right, because they came with
Mhm.
like they were sort of flavored names instead of just
Yeah.
the color, right? It was like wild berry red or pink or some shit like that. and-
Wasn't that also how the N64 ones were?
No,
it
They
was
did
the
actually, you're
Jungle
N64
Green. My
just-
bad. Atomic
yeah.
Purple.
They
Oh,
were
my
just
bad,
like,
yeah.
let's give it a wild name.
Yeah.
Pikachu yellow.
Oh, and the Neo Geo Pocket and Pocket Color. Yeah, those are so good. I love those.
And the game come.
What the fuck is that?
You don't remember the
Said
game
nobody
come?
ever.
Nobody needs to remember the game.
I
looking
remember
it
the
up.
game.com. It was
Yeah. Tiger Electronics. That's all that needs to
Yeah.
be said.
yep,
Is
nope.
Tiger Electronics. It was released as a competitor to the Virtual Boy
Oh boy.
Oh my fuck.
So
Without-
if you didn't have enough scoliosis,
without the neck breaking functionality.
it's like carrying a
Which one had
CRTV
more
on your
games?
face.
Because
That's
how
a
many
good
games
question.
did Virtual Boy have?
Like 7 or
8?
something?
Yeah,
It was more than that. It was double digits.
I don't think so.
Like 7.
Like 3-run release. Like, it's
22
bad, dude.
games. 22
Oh, it
games.
beat out the GameCom by 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, we gotta talk. We gotta talk about everybody's favorite, the FM Towns Marty.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Marty.
The
We're gonna
Marty.
play some games on the Marty.
Marty,
You're my
Make-
density.
make like a tree and get out of here.
You're my density.
Holy shit!
Wow. You're my
Hey,
I will
Barry!
say-
I know you've been looking for a new console. Listen to this.
there it is.
I will say I have never played anything that made me feel like I just spent 3 years in suspended animation the way the Virtual Boy did. Just trying it at Target.
Yeah, I tried it at a Blockbuster video. That's my only experience, and seriously, I think I played it for 5 minutes, and I had like 2 days of like crook neck.
Yeah, you come out of it and it's like you feel like you just woke up from a nap in the middle of
Uh-huh.
somewhere that you're completely unfamiliar with.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
cornfield.
immersive.
It's
So
so
my buddy
bad.
had one of those, and I was dying to play it. Like he said, I got a Virtual Boy, and like so casually, like he didn't give a fuck. And I remember going to his place for a sleepover, and I'm like, okay, I want to play the Virtual Boy. Do you have it? He's like, oh yeah, it's in the corner. He's literally sitting there playing with a hacky sack, so bored out of his mind. Meanwhile, there's premium electronic toys in the
Yeah,
corner collecting
yeah.
dust. And I tried that Virtual Boy, and that thing was immersive.
I was
Yes,
to
my
say,
hands hurt, and my eye and my back hurts, but that was an immersive experience.
I mean, I guess immersive is
Usually,
a
you
good
gotta
term
lick the
for
stairs
it. 'Cause
first.
if you were going to go to the store and kidnap a child, if they were playing the Virtual Boy, that was a prime target, right?
Yeah.
right?
No,
And that's
to
a
your
tip.
to your point of like waking up in the middle of the day and not knowing where you are. It's like that episode of Family Guy where it's like, Chris, where have you been? I don't know.
Right. I remember this one time I played the Virtual Boy and then I woke up in a white van. It was crazy.
And then somebody was looking at me saying, "Where? Point on this doll where the person applied
No,
the
they
Virtual
were like,
Boy."
They kept screaming at me to put the lotion on the skin. It was crazy.
They kept pointing
Where's
at the
my
doll
kidney?
saying,
I
"Where
thought it
did
was
the
a kidney. I
Virtual
was
Boy
just playing
get put?"
Tetris.
What's that?
Like, where'd my kidney go? I was just playing
Yeah,
Tetris.
yeah.
Why am I missing a kidney?
Someone was playing. I was playing Virtual Wario, and all I could hear was fucking wild horses. It was crazy.
Was
Woke up in a well.
Oh well.
Oh, well. All right, Walkins.
All right, Christopher Walken.
Jesus.
you're talking to my guy? All wrong.
Oh, wrong.
Stab you in the face with a soldering iron. Was the Neo Geo CD this generation? No, it was
No, I
fourth
think that
apparently.
was
Never mind.
fourth, yeah.
I
By the
could
time
see
it
you
loads, it would
coming.
be.
I could see a dog too.
Oh God, I'm gonna come. That's Christopher Walken.
Oh, God.
Mid-coitus.
Oh,
Ladies and
oh,
gentlemen,
God.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, yes.
Was that a real thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
my
he asked
fucking
how
Lord.
to pronounce it.
He asked
And
how-
somebody
yeah,
purposefully
where
was like, I'm going to make him Christopher Walken this, and told him how to say it wrong.
It was
So-
God, it was the lead singer did it. He's like, I want
Yeah.
him
Yeah, it
to
was
put the
Dave Grohl.
enunciation. Dave Grohl
Yeah.
said, I want him to put the enunciation on fighters. So he came out on
Fighters.
SNL and said, ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
God bless that man.
Yes, for sure.
Holy shit. Oh,
Awesome.
that's it for the consoles. I'm looking through this here list on Wikipedia. Thanks Wikipedia. Big fan.
Yeah.
And that's it.
we can
that's a hell of
cover
a
Chard's
generation.
statement earlier doubly so with Sonic the Hedgehog with the Genesis Nomad.
My statement.
Yeah, about you were talking about Sonic 2 and 3.
Oh yeah.
We can bring that into fifth
Yeah.
gen with the Nomad.
Everybody
Was
loves the
that-
Nomad. Didn't
was
you
that
have
fifth
one?
gen?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
Yeah.
it's classified as
Oh.
fifth gen on Wikipedia, so take that as you will.
October
Thanks,
Wikipedia.
95. October 95.
Oh shit. I guess only in 95 would you have a fucking handheld Genesis that eats up more batteries than anything I've
wasn't-
ever known.
It wasn't even discontinued until 99. I think it had a longer
Holy
life
shit.
than the
Wow.
Dreamcast.
I love the fact that the thing was basically like just a shell that fit, like it was the size of the cartridge and a little bit. Like,
Yeah, it was a thick boy.
Uh-huh.
A very thick
And
boy.
Speaking of, it looks like a folded book.
it
It
does.
does. Like, it literally does. It's got like the rolled edge to put your thumb on the direction pad, but it looks like someone's like, you know what makes my hand feel really good if I play it like an open book? Let's fold this thing. Let's go grab the camera of a dead cannon and let's throw some controllers into this thing. We'll make the viewfinder the screen.
And they've got that like weird concave like recess
Yeah.
for where like the weird also concave D-pad is.
Yeah.
Which I guess maybe that's not so bad. That'd be
It's got
better
the
than having it
angles
like
of the
all the way
Jaguar
up.
controller, I
That D-pad
appreciate.
is the
Like,
Saturn D-pad.
It's
I'm
it's
pretty
thumb
sure.
it's a thumb shaped depression.
It
Like-
is.
Yeah.
It's sadness. Dude, it literally
comfort.
looks like you're playing a camera, like an old
Yeah.
Canon camera.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
and what you're not seeing if you're looking at pictures maybe is I think on the bottom it had
Mhm.
a controller port so that you could have a
It does.
second
Yeah.
player join you.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at it right now.
Couldn't you also just connect it to your TV as well too? Like wasn't
Yep.
there an
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I
it
thought
had
too.
AV out. Like this thing was a Genesis on, well, not steroids, but like it was a Genesis that meant it.
On
You know
legs.
what I mean?
And it claims 4 hours for 6 AA batteries. I think that's being generous.
That's pretty good, actually. If that's the case, that's
but
not so bad. It's
think
better
about
than the
it.
Game Gear.
This was prior to like regular rechargeable batteries, and batteries were like $2 for every AA battery.
I mean, you
Yeah.
plug actual Genesis games into this thing. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty innovative
That-
for what it was. you
That
know?
is pretty fucking impressive. The screen is tiny as
it's
hell.
super tiny.
That's like the size of a debit card.
And
Yeah,
it's
That's why
got
it
some
got the battery
massive-
life it did.
Massive ghosting
Yeah.
in that bad boy. Good
Oh,
God.
yeah. Oh, the
that
refresh
sucks.
rate was just awful.
Yeah.
The fucking
It's like
one
six,
screen per
6
or one-
frames per second or
Yeah,
something.
what-
My character has like 12 shadows. What the fuck's going on?
Am I playing Shinobi?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I play Vector Man and my eyes go crossed.
I want to read something from Wikipedia real quick. The Nomad is fully
Please.
compatible with several Genesis peripherals, including the
no.
Sega Activator.
Oh yes, that's
Team,
my favorite. I fucking love that piece of garbage.
Team Play Adapter, Mega Mouse, and the Sega Channel and X-band network
Oh,
add-ons.
Sega
No.
Channel.
You can't slot the Sega channel into the Nomad. How would you even see the screen?
I
I
want to
had the
see
Sega
somebody.
channel.
I want to see somebody smash the 32X
This thing's
into
got
it.
more accoutrement than the Kardashians. I mean, there's so much shit hanging off of this little controller thing right now. This is hilarious. I'm watching a video of somebody like kind of demonstrating it and playing it right now. It's got some. I mean, good God, it looks like a victim of a car crash. And all the wires are in it trying to keep it alive. There's so much shit going into this fucking little box. It's
God
insane.
damn.
It's crazy. This is a crazy beefy little bitch, and I'm sure
Beefy little bitch.
many risks for making. You're complaining about your neck with the Virtual Boy, Sinistar. My fucking forearms hurt from carrying this goddamn phone book around. Jesus.
Look, before kettlebells were cool, there's a Sega Nomad.
That's right.
That's what we did.
I do curls while I play Echo the Dolphin.
A hell of a generation.
I like it says likewise due to its lack of compatibility with any of the Genesis add-ons, it's unable to play any games for the Master System, Sega CD, or 32X. I want to see somebody try to smash a Sega CD onto this thing. Like,
No, I'd rather see it like Frankenstein together with like
Yeah.
8,000 chords.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
There's just like
I was really hoping that you didn't need the heat sink, so you just drop a 32X right on this bitch.
Tower of Power, the
This-
Nomad,
this is my Nomad, and this is its hat.
the fucking bunker buster. They
I need a
call it.
6-foot ladder so I can pop the game in the top of it.
You've got one of those like weird, I don't know what the fuck they're called. Those like dinosaur head grabber things. And you
Yes.
use that to, like pop
The
a cartridge in
T-Rex
there.
arms.
Yeah.
So you,
Yeah,
I
dude.
gotta get out the old Christmas ornaments and drop the Sonic 2 disc inside of this game here. Hold on.
I love how every fucking like little scene thing we enact is always like some
it's-
New
yeah.
Yorker, like New Jersey man.
Get my Virginia Slims.
I can't take I can't take the light bulbs out of the roof. I gotta get my grabber. Go get the Sega Genesis Nomad grabber.
I gotta stop down. I gotta stop down at the bodega for a Sega Nomad and a chopped cheese.
Sega Nomad.
I lost the TV remote. Charlie, go change the channel.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
wow.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, this was a hell of a generation of games. This
It
was
was.
some,
Yes.
this got some good stuff, and we've got some like legit hidden gems that we busted out here. I did not think we would talk about the goddamn Sega Nomad at any point in the last couple of weeks. We were
Holy
discussing
shit.
doing this. That
That's
was
right.
not
But
one
now
that
you
was
want
on
one,
my-
right?
I kind of do, to be honest with you. Would
Yeah.
not mind slapping that up in the old bingo card behind me. So,
Yep.
That's it. That's the 5th generation, everybody. Holy shit. I totally forgot to have you guys introduce your show at the beginning, but since we didn't do that, fellas, where can people find all of you on the internet, find your show, to listen to
Yeah.
that?
YouTube.com / at press
You
B
guys-
the cancel.
you guys get with your kids and ask them about them used tubes, and you can come and find us there.
What's a podcast? Is that a TV channel on the Direct TV?
It better not be during my stories, because I ain't got time to listen to nothing outside of my stories.
My
I
story.
once saw this horror movie that involved pods and changing out people, and now you're terrifying me.
My agoraphobia is acting up. My tinnitus.
Flaring up like my back hurts. It's agoraphobia. Jesus.
Oh my god.
you
no,
can't-
You
press-
can find us on
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah,
but you can
press-
also find us on any of your audio apps as well, from Spotify to Amazon Music for some reason, to all those places.
Press B to
Or
cancel.
pressbtocancel.com.
Yep.
Yeah, check us out.
We're there.
Nice.
We
Me
are
too.
4/5 or 8/10 if you really are wanting to be technical.
Oh, God, the fractions.
Of the Press B to Cancel podcast.
PlayStation controller over here.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, this has been a great time. Oh god, I need to go to bed. Thank you everybody for listening to this episode and putting up with our shit. Go listen to Press B to Cancel. go join their Discord servers. It's great. Go join mine too, I guess. I don't know. Just go to bed. Thanks for listening.
Go to bed.
Everybody say bye.
It's past your bedtime, son. Go to bed.
Kick,
Take
punch.
your Metamucil.
You better
Kick-
not
Go
be
to
watching
sleep.
those dirty stories up there. I'm gonna come up there and open your door. You better be sleeping.
Kick, punch. It's all in the mind.
Ugh.
Everybody say bye.
Okay, bye. Love you. Bye.